I can't show your face, man. Cover your face. Get in trouble by the YouTubes. You gotta sit over there. Just scoot over one seat. Please, sir. Please and thank you. Can't see shit. I need to check on that LASIK stuff. Then again, I might just be eating myself into a diabetic coma. Well, ice cream I freaking eat. I guess the old BoobTube ain't showing me no love. It didn't send you a notification, did it?
Yeah, it did.
It did?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep. Looking at 10:33 p.m. 10:33. King nothing.
You didn't almost miss it, Jay. Dude, you want to call me, bro? Told me to get on right now so you can watch it. How'd you almost miss it when you're the one that called me and told me to get on it?
It's personality A right now.
This is J.A.? J
Mm-hmm.
personality A?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who the Liver King is. I'm sure every.
Oh, yeah.
Just got home. Just got it, homie. Dazed and confused. What does it say? I can't see shit.
Man, how bad do you think he's gonna hurt after this?
Jay said hi.
Oh, hi, Jay.
He said hi. The big news lately is the Liver King and his lie about steroids. And I'm only going to talk about this for a second because it really doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. And I'm going to talk about something else that does matter. Who gives a fuck? You know who gives a fuck? The people who looked at him and thought, I can be him if I send him my money and do what he says. I can look like him. Why does, as a society, why do men give a shit what they look like anymore? If it's not for breeding purposes, why does it matter? And a lot of these dudes, it's not for breeding purposes. A lot of these dudes are just, they're, I don't know what they are. But they're not, it's not like they're trying to get big. They're trying to get big to make up for something else. I've been big. I'm no longer big. When Chris and I first got together, I was fucking huge. Have you seen pictures of me, Silas?
No.
When I used to work out and shit? Yeah.
No,
I was actually a pretty big dude. And like size wise, I'm big. I don't have the physique I once did. I've got a little flab on me now. Lost a lot of muscle mass. That's what it is. You're trying to make up for something else. Most times it's confidence, because especially younger guys just don't have the confidence to walk up to people and talk to them. I can walk up to anybody and talk to them. I can walk up to anybody in the world right now and start a conversation with them. Doesn't matter who they are, what they look like. Like when I'm walking into a store and there's females, I pay attention to a lot of people. So if you watch dudes, especially younger dudes, when females are walking toward them, a lot of times they'll look at the ground. I look everybody in the eye. I don't care. It doesn't matter who it is. I always look everybody in the eye, and you can tell who the people are that are self-conscious or that don't have any. I was gonna say faith in themselves. That's not it. They don't have any self-worth. No, that ain't it either.
No.
So yeah, confidence. They don't have any confidence in themselves, and they'll look down. It's a subconscious thing that the human does. So they send this dude their money, thinking they're going to look like him, and he's not on. He did it totally legit, no steroids. Well, I mean, realistically, he wasn't lying. Where he fucked up was he came out and said that he lied. He didn't lie. It's not like he's buying, steroids from Europe and having them shipped in and getting all jacked up on steroids. He is only putting something in his body that his body no longer makes because of his age. I take testosterone. Been on it now for probably, I don't know, 6, 8 months, 8 months maybe. The difference in me mentally, physically, between not taking it and taking it, it's a fucking world of difference, man. I tell everybody that I know that's around the age of 40 or 40 plus, 36 plus, you need to go have your fucking levels tested. Because it's not only like a manly thing, like it's not about your sex drive and shit like that. It's about this how you feel. So I don't fault the dude. But at the same time, he should have just been honest from the beginning and said, yeah, I take testosterone. I go to a hormone clinic. I have a hormone clinician that prescribes me this shit. So, I mean, realistically, is he getting all juiced up? I don't think so. But he's about to get his ass suit off. Bet your ass on that. Everybody and their fucking brother who don't look like him, that's bought from him, is about to go after him. I would be surprised if there's a class action lawsuit over the shit. But there's something seriously wrong with people that look like that, with one exception. People who want to look that way, there's something wrong with them mentally. And it's a self-confidence thing most times, or they're trying to make up for something else, probably a small dick, but whatever. That's another conversation. It don't even matter. I really don't even think. I think that it takes a real fucked up female for her to care. Because I've known some real whores in my life, for real fucking whores. Close your ear, Silas. For real whores. I mean, not that I was with, just like I knew them. They were friends or acquaintances or whatever. And I've never heard a female say that it really matters. So why does a dude care? Because it's a dude thing. Dudes, for some reason in our mind, it fucking matters to females. And I'm sure that some females it does matter. Dude, that's one person out of a million. How many females are in the state that you live in the city you live in the town you live in? Fuck that one bitch. Move on to the next one.
Can I open my ears?
Yeah. So I think that he's going to get smacked with the class action is probably what's going to wind up happening. And they'll probably get it off. On the other side of it, man, I've talked about it before. And I never did it because, once it's gone, it's gone. You can't redo it. Not even just like the subscriber count, but uploading all the videos. Even I have about maybe 100 videos on a hard drive. A lot of videos are repeats of the same shit I've talked about. And now I don't talk about the shit because there's nothing left to say. My position on it is this: if this whole shit with the C virus didn't open people's eyes up to at least want to start questioning what's going on and seek out the information, there's not much I can do for them. But I still try. And the problem I find is, I've said it before, when you have a message and you initially start telling people your message, over time that message gets severely, drastically shortened to where it's no longer the same message. And that's kind of where I'm at, is I no longer have the same message anymore. And I'm really considering just stopping, whether deleting the channel. And I've said this before and I didn't do it, I know. I never said I was going to. I just always thought about doing it. Because it's not worth the energy it takes anymore. That you have to, you show people the evidence. Especially, I use cops all the time. Because in my eyes, anytime I see a problem, there's some cocksucker that's wearing a badge involved in it. I don't know about you, but when every problem has the same fucking common denominator, and it's always the cops, just saying. But when you tell people, they try to tell me that this cop is a patriot. There's some dude I made a video, a short a while back about zombie farmers specifically. Explain to me how you're a patriot when every penny that you're paid by government for the job you do for government, in the name of government, has been extorted from the people around you. Explain to me how you're a patriot when you do that. And, for some, I guess maybe it came back up in the algorithm or somebody watched it, so it started spreading around to their friends or some shit. And, some 2 or 3 people commented on it in the past day or so. You have you always have the person. And none of them have arguments. None of them's arguing the point. It's always something else. It's always, you leftist. Loser. Yeah, I may be a loser. I don't give a fuck. Go somewhere else. Eat a dick. I'm real. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know me or that knows me that won't tell you I'm real. You get what you got. I mean, last time Travis was down here for a week, and I was a dickhead all week long, and it wasn't because of Travis. It was just because of the mood I was in. And I don't want to say I took it out on Travis, but I was just in dickhead mode. So I was just a dickhead. You know what I mean? I don't fake it for anybody. You just fucking get it how it is. But they don't want to argue the point. It's always some euphemism. And the best part about it is this. They want to argue. They would use they proved me right in my eyes. And maybe I'm wrong. I could be very well wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. A lot of other people don't think I'm wrong. Maybe I am. Um, but when I remember a few years ago when we called it hijacking terms. This was back when I was a Trump supporter. The hijacking of terms. These people on the left were hijacking terms and redefining them to fit what they wanted them to mean. Racism. You're a racist if you have an issue with reparations. When there's no real racism in this country, I must say, I mean, the amount of racism in this country is not even worth talking about. Now, if you want to talk about prejudice, now we can have that conversation. There's a lot of prejudice in this country, and humans are naturally prejudiced. That's why when you drive down the road, that's why there's more white women married to white men, and white men married to white women, and black men married to black women, and black men married to black women than mixed couples, because we're all prejudiced naturally. It's animal instinct, is what it is. Humans are animals, and we have that same instinct. Pit bulls, if you don't see pit bulls out fucking chasing down coyotes, which I'm sure it's happened at some point or the other. But a pit. I would like to see an experiment. If you throw two pit bulls in a cage with a Chihuahua, or two pit bulls with a Beagle or a German Shepherd, is two of one kind and one of another kind. If the male will choose to breed with both, or one specifically, one more than the other. And I bet that he would go for the one of his same breed. But anyway, so we've seen the left doing this, hijacking terms, redefining them how they want it to, then applying them to you in a way that best suits their argument. And who's doing that very same shit today? The same people that were complaining about the left doing it back then. The conservatives, the right, the patriots. And then you bring it up to them, and now it's, let's meet somewhere. Dude, if you're asking me where to meet me at, because you think you want to whoop my ass or something, you really better fucking think about what you're doing, number one. Number two, you already lost the fight, stupid, because everybody knows my home address. Like, I don't hide nothing from nobody. There's reasons for that shit. As stupid as it is for me to do, and I know it's fucking stupid, I know it puts my family in danger, I know all that. But it proves the point. Because a lot of people have said they're coming to my house to whoop my ass. You know how many people showed up so far? None. And this dude keeps commenting too. I'm like, dude, I thought you were on your way to my house. Like, I've been sitting here waiting on you. My wife made you an extra plate for dinner. Bought an extra box of tampons just in case. Supposedly he's not a zombie fairy supporter, which it doesn't matter. It's not about zombie farmers. It's about the whole ideal that government has authority over us. I'm sitting in my car right now in front of Walmart with the car running with the phone in my hand. Technically, what I'm doing is illegal. So if a cop pulls in here right now, even though I'm on private property, Walmart, he'd smack his fucking lights, just like if I was drinking, sitting behind the wheel in the parking lot, and hit me with the DUI because they do what they want to do. Politicians don't do anything. Order followers do. And it's been that way throughout history. It's always the order followers. And there's no such thing as a good cop. The fact that bad cops exist is proof that there's no such thing as a good cop. Because if there was a good cop, there would be no bad cops. What's the bootlicker's reply to this? Well, if he turns them in, then there's retaliation and he loses his fucking job. So what? So what? Who cares if he loses his job? I won't work for cops. I won't work for anybody that I fucked up actually recently. I'll tell you about that in a second. I won't work for anybody that their funds, their money comes from you being extorted. I did work for a postal worker recently. And I didn't know it until I was halfway through the job. And I told her, like, I can't take that money. I need you to figure out another way to pay me so I'm not taking that money. So she gave me money from her bank account where her mother died or some shit. She assured me it didn't come from that. And I wasn't going to take it. I was going to, if it came down to it, I was just going to tell her not to worry about it. You know, and then these same people want to argue about, you know, they always want to bring up taxes for some reason, even when you don't say nothing about taxes. He watched another video and commented. Driving on the right side of the road and stopping at stop signs and paying your taxes. Said something stupid. I'm like, well, that's just kind of a common courtesy for two people. Number one, I don't like hitting people head on. I've done that shit. It ain't no fun. Number two, I'm trying not to violate their rights and intentionally hit them head on. Number three, I stop at stop signs because I don't want to get fucking whacked by a semi or otherwise. It's the stupidest arguments. The argument's never about the point. The point is, the funds they make have been extorted. Threats of force and violence. You will pay us or else. They take that money and they stick it in their fucking pocket. And they call themselves a patriot. Like, how are you patriotic doing that? And it's always you. You're always the problem. You're always the dumb one, the ignorant one, the one who doesn't know anything. And how do you combat it? You can't combat it. You can't combat stupidity. Because all ignorant people believe that they are correct about everything, always. When they chime in on a conversation, I mean, I've talked to people who will admit that they have never even read the entire Constitution from one side to the other. But they will fucking argue with you to the death about what's constitutional or not. Just ran into that shit earlier. Do you try and tell me Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15 and 16 gives government the authority to police you? But then says that the militia in Clause 15 and 16 are not government. So he argues I'm wrong, gives me an example, and then argues I'm right as he's still arguing that I'm wrong. Did you make it, I guess?
Yep.
Oh, I was probably drunk.
Oh.
My bad. So how do you combat it? Moral of the story. How do you combat it? You can't. As much as I would love for people to wake up, and as much as I would love for people to not begging to be fucking slaves, as much as I would love for people to not, be doing the equivalent of looking at their kids in the eyes and telling them that they hate them, I can't change the way they feel. And after what's happened the past 3 years in this country, it tells you a lot about people in this country. If you remember back, and I've talked about this 100 times, when the moms were getting arrested in playgrounds during the lockdowns in the United States of America, you're going to lock the fuck down. Enforced by who? Thugs with badges. That's who. But then when they were arresting moms in playgrounds, and the right kind of pulled away, if you remember, to the point like a lot of people were like, fuck the cops. I'm not supporting the cops no more. This is bullshit. All they are is thugs. They're redcoats. And after a fucking decade of being an organization, BLM comes out with, let's defund the police. And what happens? The sheep fucking run right back in to support the cops. Not because anything changed with the cops for the better, but because those people want this to happen. So we have to be against what they want. It's a total mindfuck. Not in the sense that it's confusing, in the sense that they are fucking with your mind, leading you to do shit that you otherwise wouldn't do. You're on your path to no longer supporting the police. And because these people say they want to defund the police, now you support the police? That makes a lot of sense.
Can you see that real quick?
Why don't you work with them? Work together. Then there's the argument of, well, you see where they've defunded the cops in all these blue cities, right? It's always the blue cities. And how much crime went up. They can't grasp onto what really happened there and why crime went up. They associate it with there being less cops. No, there was less motherfuckers with guns willing to shoot you, is what happened. So when the cops moved out, if the people would have stepped up, the crime would have actually dropped. But it's a psyop. That's all it is. It's a psyop. To make you think that the police are needed. They extort you. They redistribute that wealth. 80% of the crime in this country is committed by those who that wealth is then distributed to. That then justifies the police in the mind of the sheep, who then oppress us all who then extort us all and start the circle all the way over again. Somewhere in there, they make you feel like you have some choices. It's like me saying, hey, I know I'm your slave master, but I think you should have a choice. So I'm going to give you a choice between silence and trading. You can vote who you want to be your master. That's where we're at right now. But people are willing to argue to the death, threaten you, and all kinds of shit, just because you don't see shit their way. And I will say this, because this is a new one too. Trump came out with this thing on Truth Social. I'm sure everybody read it. I read it. Some friends of mine read it. They see it as him saying something about like throwing the Constitution away. I'm putting words in their mouths, but something to that effect. I didn't read it that way. What I read was, and like I'm not pro-Trump by any means. What's right is right and wrong is wrong. So if that's not what he said, then that's not what needs to be said. What I seen was him say, if they was able to steal this election, then they can also do this also. If they can steal this, that allows this, and this to happen. Not that because they stole it, it allows government to do, for me to do this, and this so I can get the election overturned. That's not what it was. Not in my mind, anyway. Like, when I first read it, that's what I thought. I thought the same thing they did. I'm like, well, wait a second here. The first sentence he's talking about free and fair elections, and the next sentence he's talking about suspending the Constitution. And, like, government can't even do that. Suspending the Constitution is just, it's a construct of belief. Government can't suspend our restrictions on government. But they can if they do it, they try it, and you fucking don't do nothing about it. They can do whatever they want. Bank robbery is illegal, but nobody enforces the bank robbery laws. What do you think is going to happen when the bank robbers figure out that they can walk in every bank and rob it, and nobody's going to say a word to them? They're going to rob more banks. Same thing government does. They figured out that this is a nation of pussy cowards that would rather fight with somebody who wants nothing more than for them to be free than to stand up and step up and do their duty. And then there's a side of me that I just don't have it in me anymore. I really don't, man. It takes way too much time, effort, and energy to deal with these fucking stupid people. I mean, it's like the class of the IQ, a class of students with my bad. I'll get back to that. So the guy with the class 15 and 16, that guy. So he has people jumping in now telling me that I need to pay the money because I'm wrong and he's right. 2 other people jumped in. And I'm like, that is fine. But if you read his comment, he admits he's not right. Because the challenge is to cite where government has the authority to police society. And it does not exist. It doesn't exist in our Constitution. And like I said, people are so stupid, they argue that you're wrong, then argue you're right, as they're still arguing that you're wrong. And there's no beating it, dude. At this point, it's a disease. Somebody said something to me today that made a lot of sense. I got a subscriber named Francis. He's from Ireland. He's an Irishman. Like, for real. Got the accent and everything. Cool as fuck. He called me this morning about 8 o'clock or something. And we talked for probably, 45 minutes or an hour. And he said, look at what they call the internet, the World Wide Web. What the webs do. Like, they catch things. He's like, exactly. And look at what it does to you and your kids and your wife and me and everybody else. Look how much time we spend caught in the web rather than focusing on what really matters to better our lives. He's already went through all this shit in Ireland. He already seen it all happen. And he's watching it happen again here. He said he's anti-cop for real. You think I'm fucking anti-cop? I wish I could get it. I'm going to try to get him to do a live stream with me and let him talk. He calls them DTs. So he calls them. He won't call them a cop or a pig or whatever. They're DTs. And he's right. They are DTs. What does DT stand for, Freedom? Domestic terrorists. He said that the first time he noticed there was a problem with them, he told me this story today. I've been talking to him for 2 years probably, but he just told me this story today. He said, when I first realized there was something really wrong with the police, he's like, I was on a ride along somewhere in Arizona, some big town in Arizona. I forget which one he said now. He said that him and the cops stopped to get something to eat, and they're driving out of the burger joint. A guy walks up with a child in his arms and says, hey, my car broke down, whatever. I don't have a cell phone. I really need to get home. Is there any possible way you can take me home? At the same time, the cop gets a call for a burglary or something. So the cop says, I got to go deal with this. We'll be right back. So they run to they go do the burglary thing. Francis is with them the whole time doing the ride along. And when that call's over, as they're leaving, they get a call from the CVS from where they just left about a man with a kid acting suspicious in the store. Now remember, the dude couldn't get home. He lived miles and miles from here. So they walk in, and there's 5 or 6 cops. He said that was the first thing. We walk in, there's 5 or 6 cops surrounding this dude. And this was the first sentence that made me question the validity of the police forces. Because when the guy's sitting back there with his child in his arms sleeping, the child's sleeping, not the guy. And the cops say, one of the cops says, has anybody checked the child for sexual abuse? And I'm like, they're in a pharmacy. Who the fuck is going to check the kid? The cops? He's like, no, nobody could. He said, but that's not the point. The point is why? Well, I'll get to what his point here in a second. He's like, why is that somebody's first, go-to? The conversation was actually about how they're trying to demonize men, and they, like, if you go to anything to do with kids, they got to have this big fucking class with, how. If you're a preschool teacher, how it's appropriate to touch kids, what's not appropriate, and all this other shit. And it's part of the demonizing masculinity is what it is. But anyway, so as they're there with this dude, the child's mother hits, and now, mind you, the guy was in a car accident. So he wasn't mentally 100%. He wasn't dangerous. He just was a little slow. So, as they're standing there talking to this dude, they get a call for the mother calls and says, hey, my husband left here a few hours ago with our child. They haven't made it back. I have no way of getting a hold of him. This whatever. She didn't know what to do. She called the police. So what does the dispatcher do? They put out a fucking APB for a kidnapping, saying this dude kidnapped his kid, and then he's sitting right in front of the fucking cops with the kid as it's coming over the radio. Like, you can't make this shit up. So, long story short, they get the guy and the child to the house with the woman. They separate the woman and the guy, take the woman upstairs, and Francis said that they wanted to charge him with something so bad. They were trying to get her to say whatever she could, and he said that she wasn't. She was a little slow. So, and he's like, that's when I knew that it's not about keeping the peace, enforcing our restriction on the people that allegedly govern us, or if it means that keeping the peace means they're going to make sure that you do 55 or else, then yeah, that's what they do. That's not what they do. There's not a situation in the world where you can't inject a fucking cop and it'll get way worse immediately. The asterisk to that is a cop committing suicide by overdose. Because then, and it takes a fucked up individual. I got off on a tangent here, I'm sorry. But it's not what I want to talk about. It takes a really fucked up individual to want to have perceived powers over other men. Like, severely fucked up. There was something wrong with you. We have in 2021, there were 660,288 cops in this country. Think about the just over 500,000 cops. There's almost 400 fucking million people, guys. But because you and I can't stand together, because you want to call me a leftist, because I just want everybody to be fucking left the fuck alone. Because I won't swallow the boot, and I call it what it is. That's 680,000 or 660,000 cops rule us in the name of government. They applied for a job that gives them power. They're protected by government. Government protects all government. You see these fucking clowns talking about this. Well, there should be laws saying that. I'm sure that he will happily oblige. But let's just say you did that. Let's say that, and hit him with some violations of like the U.S. code doesn't even matter. It's then they got to go. The DA's got to decide to actually charge them. You think that's going to happen? Say the DA does charge them. Let's just say it does. Now you're going from a judge. You think he's going to let that shit stand? And let's just say that you get past the judge. And you go to trial. And they lose. Now it goes on appeal. At some point in government, statistically, they're going to cut them cocksuckers loose. You have cops that have qualified immunity. Like they don't know right and fucking wrong. The only job in the world where you're not held responsible for your actions is a cop. They tried giving a semi-truck driver 10 years for killing somebody in an accident because he was too inexperienced to be driving. He took out more than he could chew. If you're a cop and you kill somebody, you get a month-long paid vacation, a pat on the back, and an extra stripe on your shoulder. Nothing about it makes sense. Nothing. But you can't convince these people. So there's the people that get it. They have a pretty good idea of what's going on. They may not know everything. I don't know everything. But text Travis, tell him I'm doing a live stream, please. Right now, if you don't mind. There's the people that understand something's wrong, but they really don't know nothing. They're seeking the information. They're trying to figure it out. Then there's the people who ignore everything. They're so caught up in the left versus right, Democrat versus Republican, Joe Biden versus Trump, and mainly those are the ones who it's actually worse than the mafia. At least the mafia owned up to what they were doing. And how do you change that? How do you change the belief systems of people who do not care about the facts? Like I said, taking on the same thing as the ones they claim to be against. And that's why I say the right and left are the same. And that's why I say that Republicans, they're Democrats. They support everything. They're Democrats. They support everything that Democrats do. Government's one team. In D.C. fighting it out for you. They know when they're being filmed. They know they're being recorded. They know when it's, and they work everything out outside of that. And then it's all for show. It's all for nothing.
There he is. He's up here.
So, I'm going to, this is the moral of this whole story, this whole fucking 30-minute rant I've been on. I'm really genuinely going to chill out on YouTube. I've already slowed down on making videos and shit, even doing live streams lately. I'm going to chill out on the comment to people. I'm just going to ignore it, man. Because it's just a waste of energy is what it is. I could be putting a lot of time and energy into other things. Low fuel, it's all right. I don't spend a ton of time on YouTube or social media just in general. I spend more than I should. Every minute I spend on social media is a minute I take away from my kids. It's a minute that I take away from doing shit around here I need to get done. It's a minute I take away from building a house or building a barn or working out at Travis's place. There's all kinds of other shit I can do. When I've been defeated, not because of righteousness, uh, evil's strong. And it's way stronger than I am. And I am incapable of defeating that. So, there's the moral of the story. Hey, look. Oh, wait, let me show you. I got some wood stacked. You can't see the wood, but you can see where it's missing. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. Can you tell how much wood you're missing? We got stacked some more. You guys see these, hey, go get my keys real quick, please, and unlock my truck. Just run in, baby, and grab my keys and unlock my truck real quick, please.
Do what?
Will you unlock my truck real quick?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, buddy.
Can I say something?
Yeah, good. I need my truck unlocked real quick, please.
Red light gives off the most melatonin effect, which makes me more.
Does it? Oh, cool. I'm glad I know that now. So if I eat onions, eat melatonin, and turn on a red light, then I'm going to show you these skids I got, Travis, while you're on here, man. I was telling Travis about these skids I got given to me today. I went and picked up a 20 by 25 foot carport. Love you too, buddy. Carport. And the guy has a shit ton of skids there. He's like, I asked him if I could have them. He's like, yeah. Well, actually, he told me I could have them a while back. And I just asked him if I could have them again. He said, yeah, you got to see how these skids were built, man. I'm curious what was on them. They're built out of 4x4s and shit. And they're heavier than fuck. I think the train can already lift them. Yeah, I'll help you.
Okay. Take this, so I don't have to carry those at least. Put in your pocket.
Put it on your neck. Thank you. Can you see my gay notes? Nope, that's not my gay notes. My gay notes are on my truck. We want to build something out of these. So the chicken crack house is about to get rebuilt. Probably start on it next week. Here's here's the frame of the carport. It's got a bend on it somewhere. It's back here. I think I put it back here. Yeah, right there. That thing is bent. You see how bent it is right here? A tree fell on it. And allegedly that's the only thing wrong with the carport. I think there's a little more. Look at these fucking skids, how they're built. Can you see them? Can you see the 4x4s, the way they're built? So there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 4x4s in it, and a bunch of 2x4s and shit. So we have a plan for these. We're going to do something with these. Then we took a cedar post. We're going to throw the other ones over here and have it milled. There's the baby tractor. The whole thing is cool as hell, dude. I use that thing almost every single day for something. I don't know if you can see up there. I think we need to build a big ass building somewhere. Well, the problem is buildings are stationary, so where we build is where it's going to stay. I got to go this week. I got 6 telephone poles I have to pick up this week. I don't know how I'm going to get them on this trailer. I think what I'm going to do is so the ramps, I have the ramps right here. So I think what I'm going to do is put the ramps down. If I can get the front, if I can dig a hole and put my floor jack in it, I can jack the front of the telephone pole up, and then I'll put a log under it, and then just pull them up on it with the winch. That's the one thing I can think of because I can't lift a telephone pole by myself, and they're full-length telephone poles. So we have those. So we can build a pretty big ass building somewhere, whether it be here on Travis's place or whatever. There's 112 sheets of 20-foot by 3-foot roofing metal up there, plus a bunch of 16-foot ones, and a bunch of like 6 and 8-foot ones and 4-foot ones. Included in that is the metal for the carport. So this carport actually has another section on it. It's not all this bottom rail isn't all here. It's really not that bad of shape. It's been laying on the ground. What? Yeah, I got it.
You know, with like the thing in there.
Huh?
I fixed the thing over here.
Yeah, I know. I got it. I got it. All right, thank you. But the bottom rails, they're not all rusted out or nothing. They've just been laying on the ground because it was put up, and then a few weeks after it was put up, I think the tree fell on it. I don't know. But anyway, it's got another section that comes out another 4 foot or so because it's 20, I think it's 26 foot long in total. I don't know, but it's a 20-foot trailer, so 25 foot, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. If you don't see me, I'm not dead. I'll probably be, I think I'm just going to, I really want to do some stuff like what we're doing around here and show you people what we're doing around here. We're about to have to do a bunch of shit around here. Paul's getting ready to come down here. He says he's not come down here to work, but I think he's lying to himself because he kind of knows coming here is going to happen. That's all I do is work. So we got a bunch of yellow pines that got to come down. There's a bunch of them that's got to come down. I mean, there's 10 of them right here that have to come down soon. They have to be hauled to the sawmill. And then we're going to take the lumber from that, the lumber I have, the telephone poles, and some metal, and we're going to build a building somewhere. Don't know where yet, but that's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen, Captain. And I am going to jump off here. You guys have a great night and stay safe. And we're going to try to do the same, but I just don't have the, I don't want to say I don't have the will, but I just don't have it in me anymore, because it's turning into, and it's been this way for a long time, and I know it has, and I've recognized it. Like, it's to the point, like, I feel like the whiny bitch, you know what I mean? And I can't do that. I can't be that dude. So we're just gonna quit being that dude altogether. Nobody gives a fuck, and I'm just not gonna give a fuck either. To be honest with you, you want your slavery, have it, love it, eat it up, and I'll be over here doing what I do. And hopefully, one day they'll come to their senses. Unfortunately, that day will not come until their doors get kicked in. So that's a fact. But have a good night, guys. Stay safe. Hey, we got some gravel. I'll show you. Got almost 4 tons of gravel. We're going to knock down that well right there that has that antifreeze sitting on it. But we need about, probably at least 3 more loads of gravel just for right here in front of the house. We're going to gravel all the way up underneath the camper. So I did put a pad in front of the camper so we're not walking in dirt and shit over there. We're going to put a little sidewalk. We have pine blocks we walk on, but they're kind of sketchy sometimes. So I got to go get another load of concrete next week. I have this sitting out here for a reason. It's sitting there. We have a big stump right here, but my water line runs right through here. So my water line's about right here. You can't see my foot about there. So it's only about a foot away from the stump, so I'm not going to risk. I'll wait until I get a skid steer again, and I'll get a stump grinder attachment for it. Because these things, once you cut them, they turn to shit real quick and come out pretty easy. So they'll grind up really fast. And this has got to come down. This bastard is coming down. I'm just going to hook the truck to it, pull it the opposite direction probably, or pull it up the hill that way. As long as it don't fall in the camper, I don't give a fuck where it falls really. So we'll be having some more bonfires. But anyway, stay safe. I gotta go. Have a good night. Peace.